Hi, this is Frank from Fanvil. Can you hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, I will start my training about FDMS introduction. Today, I will show you our Fanvil's device management system to help you make some IP phones and also door phones and intercom devices with remote deployment and also with remote maintenance. So I will try to show you what application and how the FDMS application flow to work with our IP phones and also door phones and intercoms. I will first show you the FDMS system definition, and then I will show you what functions it might be provided. And also there will be some solutions, so how it works with the IP phones for maintenance, and also with some security issue that we need to focus. And moreover, there will be some additional features that will be available with FDMS, not only with the maintenance and the deployment, but also with some other features and the system function that we can use. And also we can share some scenario to see what the FDMS might be deployed and used. And we can also check how to apply the FDMS account and how to use them. Finally, we can see what the Fanvil might be available with the FDMS services. First, let's see what the FDMS definition is. FDMS is the Fanvil Device Management Service. Actually, it is a standard protocol and application realized via TR069. So you can also treat it as a standard ACS server by TR069. With this protocol and with the server, we can deploy and manage devices via the network remotely. It might be in LAN network and also might be in WAN network to make sure we can access and manage them remotely and automatically. What FDMS might do with the Fanvil's IP phones and also door phones and intercoms. Actually, the most realization and the content that we want to use is for the devices deployment with the configuration assigned and provisioned. Moreover, we can also make the devices firmware upgraded remotely. It will be very easy and very helpful to make the devices maintenance and monitor and also other provision conveniently. And all you need to use is, for example, apply a FDMS account, which is in the internet services, and it is free. And then you can log into the FDMS server and then manage and monitor all the devices that you want to maintain. To the devices management, we can do these functions. For example, we can remote devices remotely via the FDMS server. And also we can deploy the devices with the configuration, for example, the SIP settings, the network settings, and some, for example, the phone features deployed remotely just via the FDMS graphic UI interface. And we can also upgrade devices with the firmware files on FDMS server, the devices. And also we can make some debug methods and operation on FDMS server, but not on every phones. For example, if I am an administrator for the IP phones, maybe I would like to make some remote control and monitor. When there's some bug issue or some abnormal issue that I need to access to, I just log into the FDMS server, and then I can, for example, get the config file from the device directly. I can check the status about the devices to see if it is registered or if it is in the call or even if it is in the network. That will be very easy. Then make some local maintenance. And also we can make some configuration for some special device via the administrator FDMS success. And also we can make some monitor about the device status, information, settings, and so forth. We make the FDMS make the central configuration and central maintenance, but we can define different kind of management for these devices. For example, we can define and manage devices by area. And also we can define some devices with the model names as a group. Moreover, we can define different kinds of devices into another customized rule to make the centralized management that will be very flexible for the maintenance and the management. And also there are alarm and some message notification to help the administrator of FDMS to get the warning or some notification about the devices and some FDMS systems information, which will be notified by email or via the web messages or even with the SMS. Then we will check the status of device and then confirm what to do for these devices. And we can also do some log management to make sure not only the FDMS server but also the devices system might be controlled or monitored with the log. There will be the FDMS server's system log to see what the administrator do about the management or some special operation to change something. And also we can check some devices log to see what's the device's issue and some event via the logs. And also there is the door phone's access to see who or when opened the door with the access logs. That will be more helpful for centralized log management. No need to check the logs one by one on the devices. Here is our FDMS special functions for the door phone and the intercoms. Our door phone and intercom has the door control and access rules or tables to make sure that will be make the door access management. But in some environment or with some customers' requirement, we need to make the centralized management for the door phones control. So they will not allow some users or administrators to manage these devices locally, but centralized. So the card added or the card deleted will be only allowed done by the FDMS administrator to control all these door phones. And even sometimes there will be an administrator or some security persons who have access to FDMS, and then they might use the FDMS to open or close the door with the FDMS server, but not the door phone locally. So we add functions for FDMS to help the realization available on the some special environment with our door phones and our FDMS server. Moreover, we provide not only the configuration prevent and some devices installation and some maintenance or monitor. We provide further application to help user to make some advanced function or some system integration. For example, in order to help the administrator make remote access for the devices, we support the access to web from FDMS. Let's think about it. This kind of environment. Some devices will be put in some LAN network, and some technician or engineers have no access into this LAN network, or it is hard to access. But sometimes we must get some technical access to web to get some professional information and the data via the device's web page. For example, we need to get the config file, we need to get or check some settings information, or we need to get some devices firmware version, hardware version, or some other issues. For example, make some network or make some syslog enabled, but not trained technician or engineers will be very hard to do these jobs. So some administrator just log into the FDMS server, and then they can press some button, and then if the device is on the line, then the web page will be opened, even the device is behind the LAN network. It will be very helpful, and it is unique and developed by Fanvil, but not other manufacturers. This is for the access to web from FDMS. And also, we can support the video preview for door phone and also the intercom devices. That means you can use the SIP phone to make the SIP video calls with our door phones and our video SIP phones. But if you have our FDMS server, you can also get the video preview on the FDMS graphic UI interface, but not other special app or other SIP phones. They will be also very useful. And task rules, it is for some administrator who would like to make some periodical task arranged and executed. Then they can define some rules with the timer or some uh, alarm. Then with the timer is up, then the rule will be executed or even executed periodically. For example, we need to make some configuration prevent periodically. We need to upgrade firmware periodically. And also we need to do some other, for example, the status check or some syslog collected. Then we can define these rules for the devices on the FDMS server. Then you can just did and get the data. No need to manually operate it. And since FDMS server is a service and for maintenance, we make some phones related functions on the FDMS to make sure we can provide more helpful services. For example, we can support the voice record for calls, which means if you have some requirement for the call records during the call, you can use FDMS to make it. Of course, some server like Asterisk, 3CX, they are all supported with the voice call record. But to other PBX or other server, if you have the requirement, you need there will be no choice, or you must select some PBX or SIP server or even some record server to make it. But with FDMS, you can just use our free voice record function and service for your realization or for your requirement. And also we can support the voice quality monitor. It is realized by the RTCP XR. And with this monitor function, you can monitor and get the voice quality warning if there is some low or bad quality for calls. Then you can check what's the reason caused the voice quality bad, or how we prevent the bad voice quality for calls with FDMS. And the last is for the network phone book. Actually, Fanvil had already provided the voice record server, phone book server on our website. They are all run in Windows and no need to install. It is a green version for usage. But not all the customer or not the integrators provider would like to use them because of the system restriction. Then we integrated the voice record server and the network phone book server into FDMS as a free service. Then you can edit and deploy your enterprise network phone book on the FDMS server based on your account and your devices. Then you can use them freely. And since there's many advantages for the FDMS, so let's see how we use the FDMS as a solution. Actually, FDMS and our devices are realized and communicated via the TR069. So the mandatory settings is to set up the our devices with the FDMS server's URL, username, and password for authentication and access. But we also provide some easier operation method and configuration to help the devices and the FDMS connected directly. So there are two methods. The first one is for the fast, which means you can just access to the FDMS server first and then export some config file named as the fast config for FDMS. Then you can save this config file. And then you can log in some devices of Fanvil and then go to the web page configuration and then import the config file into the device. After the devices reboot or reinitiate, the devices will get the FDMS TR069 connection, and then the FDMS will display the device information and status. Then you can continue maintenance and management for this device. Later, I will show you a most basic operation with our phones and FDMS. The second one will be more actually and popular, which means we can use FTPS plus FDMS to make zero-touch provisioning and the connection for the devices to FDMS. First, we need to set up FTPS to add the redirected provisioning information about the FDMS server. And then when the devices first run with the default settings, they will access to FTPS, and then the FTPS will send the redirected FDMS settings to the device. And then the device will reboot and connect the FDMS with the assigned configuration. Then they will be done. Actually, the end users or administrators will not have to access to the device one by one or manually. They just configure with the FTPS and get the FDMS information and settings to make sure the FTPS will make the redirected provisioning for these devices. That will be more easier and convenient for the centralized maintenance. With the and some sensitive information and data concerned, we make the account management and the device access with the secure connection and authentication encrypted. For example, all our account access will be accessed via the HTTPS and also with the MD5 authentication. All password will required with some length and even some characters combination. Then you can get your account access. Otherwise, there will be no access for the account login to FDMS. And also we will restrict the retry times for the account login to make sure only the validated users or administrators might be accessed to the FDMS server. And also our devices will have their own identification to make sure only the Fanvil devices might be accessed to FDMS server, but not any other devices. Also, all the internal communication, no matter authentication, all the devices connect via the TR069. They will be all based on HTTPS. Here are the features summarized. With these features, you can make the provisioning, maintenance, monitor, and even with the Dolphin intercom management more easy, more simply, and plenty of application to help you to make your system integration and also other solutions available. And here is the scenario for the FDMS. First is for the community management. For example, there is some IP phones and DOR phones deployed in some community or some industry area. Then we can use the FDMS internet to deploy them and manage them remotely. We will define the community or area with a special group and add different kind of device with the MAC address and get the status and some setting parameters set and get. They will be very convenient to make remote management. This is for the end user or for some integrator service providers. And the right side, it is for the agent or the reseller management. For example, some end users have requirement for the devices, but they have no technical persons or resources to install, maintain these devices. So the agent or resellers, they might help these customers to make the end management remotely to help them make the phones or make the DOR phones installed easily. No need to learn some special technical or some other special skills to let them install by themselves. And also, even they can put the FDMS on internet, which is a free service provided by Fanvil, or they can install a local FDMS service, which is also free, but they will not run on internet, but in some special network or special system environment to make the private FDMS system with our devices. That will be also available. Here is the FDMS accounts management. We support multi-level account management, and the top account is only one, managed by Fanvil's administrator, who might create the second level or the sub-level account. And this administrator might also define the roles with the capability and some restriction to make sure different account might have the required or the restricted functions or capabilities for their environment. And also, the sub-level account, they might also create their sub-account for their end users to make sure, for example, to agent, they can help users to manage devices, but they can also create sub-account to allow them manage devices by themselves, but not the agent. They will be more flexible for the account management. And here is how to apply the FDMS account from Fanvil, or how to install the private FDMS to get the private service. First, no matter the roles, for example, agent, customers, or some other special role accounts assigned from Fanvil administrator, you must contact the Fanvil marketing or sales colleagues, and then please provide your company name, your email address, your phone number, and your address to make sure we can make some basic information enrolled and some communication. And then we will provide the sub-level account for you to allow you use the FDMS on internet to make the remote devices management. And if you do not want to make the sub-level account management, you can just apply some second level account from us. We can create all accounts as the customer's role to allow you and your customers or your users to use FDMS server directly. Currently, there will be no problem. Just depends on your requirement. Here is the free FDMS account, which is run on internet. You can apply freely. Just send email or contact our sales colleagues. There is also another installation version for our FDMS, which is also free, but it is installed free with the license applied and checked with our marketing and sales colleagues. If we validate your identification or your cooperation with us, we will create the authorized license to make your local FDMS activate. Otherwise, you cannot run the FDMS locally. Please note that. But besides the installation and the services, maintenance locally or on the internet, there will be no difference between the free FDMS service and also the local installation version. Here are the devices that we supported FDMS. You can refer. Here I distinguished and catalogs by the phones and the door phones, and also with different kind of serials. But as you can see, there are all devices that we supported, but not some historical devices, just our current products that you can use. So that is our FDMS. Okay, the presentation is end, but my demo will not finished. Here, I will show you some example about the FDMS and our devices communicate and connected and monitored. But it will be only a very, very basic example because there's not enough time. Later, we will make some FDMS demo training and also some video on our website to help you to see how to use directly. So here, there is the FDMS web URL, which is run on internet. So we can, or you can input the URL on your, then there will be the login interface. And here, I'm already saved my account as a customer. And if you have any question or problem about the FDMS, there is also the user manual link here that you can refer directly. There is also very concrete description about how to use the FDMS. Now I will enter the FDMS interface. So as you can see, I make the FDMS started already. And here is the FDMS server address. And here is also the fast configuration. Actually, it is a config file. I export it on my PC devices. And here you can see there is a X6 which is already online. It means this phone has access to the FDMS already. So what did I do for the X6 to make the IP phone access to the FDMS? Actually, it is very easy. In the configuration page, I just make the FDMS accounts fast config file. And then I did the import and then auto provisioning with the FDMS setting will be assigned automatically. Everything will be done. After that, the devices will access to the FDMS server and then get the status online and also show the MAC address, the IP address, the firmware version, and the vendor. And I can make the provision via the FDMS. Actually, here I can set up the SIP line 1 with the extension number, authentication username, password, and I can even make, for example, enable DND, or I can make the registration enabled with the assigned server address. Just press sure. Then the devices is assigned the settings or parameters remotely from FDMS. Then if you want to confirm, then you can see here I made the settings applied already. Even, for example, I can deregister here. Here you can see the settings is selected. So it is easy and convenient for the centralized maintenance. And also I can make the firmware upgrade. I can select some firmware and then upgrade. For example, then If I press the button, then the version might be upgraded remotely for the device. And also I can set up the configuration and some certification files and also some background files and the local phone book files. All these files might be imported remotely for the FDM via the FDMS. And if the online, we will not operate it, but we can make some task rules after the device is online. Then we will execute the task automatically. No need to manually operate or make some online operation for these devices. And also we can get some parameters feedback. For example, we can check the SIP number. Then we will get the extension number is 9150. It is very convenient to see what's the settings or what's the configuration that the phones or that device is configured. So here is the deployed or provisioned remotely for the devices. And also we can make the devices with aerial management. For example, I can make some groups defined first, and then we can add different devices into the group, and then we can make the group maintenance with provision, with firmware upgrade, and or with some other files imported. And also we can make the Dolphin's cards management with the user card management and the administrator cards management, and also with the access door access logs viewed or managed here. No need to access or make some special access log server. So here is my today's FDMS training with some features presentation with some basic operation and realization show. But in future, we will also more materials, including some video operation with FDMS. Then we can know more and better about our FDMS usage and some operation. But for now, you can refer to our FDMS user manual, and then you can see how to use the FDMS with most basic operation for the devices. For example, the provisioning and some settings that you can use first. So now I will try to check the questions, and then I will answer some of your questions to see if it will be more helpful to you. Okay. Uh, Mike Robinson asked a question. Can older devices such as X5G be programmed with FDMS? So the answer is no. That I just pointed. The only current products, our X series phones, color screen X series phones, H series phones, and our video phones, and our door phones and intercom devices might be available with our FDMS. The previous, for example, X3 will not be available with our FDMS. So that's the answer for the Mike Robinson. And okay, about the presentation, I will try to add the my docs PowerPoint into the webinar later. So please wait for me. Okay. Some customer ask if the FDMS download link is available. Please try or wait for our confirmation because recently we also update our newest FDMS version for the local installation version. But if you have the FDMS account, I suggest that you can use the internet FDMS server first because it is free and you do not need to install locally. Mr. Mike Sheen asked about the function key configuration on phones. Actually, we can support the FDMS to make the function keys prevalent for our IP phones, but currently you need to edit some config file with the function keys parameters, and then you use the config file prevalent for these phones, and then you can let the IP phones prevalent with the function keys remotely via the FDMS. Currently, we do not provide a graphic UI interface for the function keys definition change directly. So anyway, you can still use the config file. I think it is very easy. It will not be hard for the maintenance. And we have FDMS system set up on the internet, but I'm stuck on web interface of phone. Okay, I'm not sure what's the meaning of the issue that you start. I suggest you can send email with your concrete description and some interface to show us what's the status and what's the case that you meet, and then we will try to check if we can help you to resolve it. But here, I'm not sure I can understand and I can point to how to resolve it directly. Mr. Kevin Palmer asks, with FDMS Cloud, can you do bulk changes to groups of handsets? Yes, we can do this. Just like I make the task rules and the group management for devices. So for example, if you first and then you add a group for these devices, then you can operate the group with a config file or with the config files for these handsets to make sure they will download one or their respective config files to make the configuration changed. So It is yes. Mr. Manish Mati, sorry I can't read your name, but I can read your question. How to create account for the FDMS web? Okay, just like I said, if you want to get your account to try or experience the FDMS service, you must to us to try to get some account which is created by our FDMS administrator. So that's the only way. You cannot log in or you cannot create it by yourselves unless you install the local FDMS server in your network or in your system. Then you can create account and you are the administrator for your FDMS. So uh, two methods, but I will try to uh, suggest that you create request a free account from us. Okay, I will try to share my presentation today. Okay, if you want to know more about my presentation content and uh, you can get the PowerPoint files via the webinar I've already uploaded. The config files for the cloud FDMS, they will be saved FDMS server, not the local PC. Because the devices in one network or in LAN network, they might only access to FDMS server to make communication and some files downloading. So you need to edit the config file in your local PC, and then you must upload them into the FDMS server. Then the phones will get them. This is the question about the Mr. Kevin Palmer. Okay. Um, some customer who ask if the FDMS required a license. I will share you that our no matter the cloud FDMS service or the local FDMS installation version, they are all free, no license fee, which means you do not pay any costs about the services, just depends on your request and some apply to our sales colleagues. Then we will either create the free account for you or we will generate your validated license to allow you activate your local FDMS server. There will be no any fee or cost. You can free use them with our devices. Okay. Any other further question? I can still answer you. Mm, Mr. Jeff asked the question, who do I need to contact to get access to FDMS? Actually, there are several channels. You can either contact our agent or distributor, then maybe they can apply the account for you to us. Or you can also send email to our support@fanvil.com email mailbox to introduce your identification and your information. Then we can try to uh, make some sales colleagues to contact you, and at the same time, we will create the uh, cloud FDMS account for you. Then you can use them. And currently, we have the bug configuration generator tools, but we do not release them officially or formally because we we think it should be some kind of job of the provisioning service provider or some other PBX manufacturer who might generate it or uh, make the tools more easily than us. So if you like, we can provide some uh, non-official software to help you, or you can check if it is available for you. But to us, we do not release or announce such kind of software to make the configuration file generated. And Maxine asked the question, can access the phone web interface of the phone by FDMS? Yes, the answer is yes. For example, okay, I'm not sure I can make it, but I will try to check if I can find it. I'm not sure you get my windows shared. So if you can see, there is the remote access not via LAN, but via the FDMS server with a remote public IP address with the NAT service. Then I get the IP phones web page accessed via the FDMS button pressed. So you can make remote access via the FDMS, which is very helpful. Even I'm in another network, I can still access to the phones via the FDMS. And is it safe to set password for extension through FDMS, or can you set the manually and use the reset option? Okay, about the FDMS parameters configuration, they are all via the standard TR069 via HTTPS, which means only the administrator and the devices who will encrypt it via the HTTPS might get the real parameters. All other, no matter the hackers or administrators, they will not get any text information or data via the FDMS communication. So it is secure. And okay, some customers ask if we have plan on providing phone support in USA. Well, it is our plan, and we won't make the North America and also the West Europe and American area to make sure we can provide some instant online support, but it will still need more effort and some resource management. Then we will try to improve our technical support. But we will also try to help some customers with more, for example, the webinar with some more video training and more some docs to help the customer and some users to know and use our devices better. So that is our current plan, and which is also our try to improve for our support. Mm, I'm not sure the Kevin Palmer's question. We can link the FDMS service. Actually, the FDPS service will save the FDMS URL or link to let the phone get the redirected provisioning to have the final connection of FDMS. So I'm not sure if you understand my meaning or my description. I think you make the sequence converted, but it should be the FDPS first, and then it should be the FDMS access. So if you want the FTPS plus FDMS, you might also apply the FTPS account and our FDMS account. Okay, any other question or some suggestion about other related for our FDMS that you want? Okay. So I would like to finish today's webinar to introduce our FDMS, but it will not the only one time for our FDMS training. Please also concern with our website and also with our marketing announcement. In future, we will try to provide more detailed information and detailed data. Then you can learn and you can know more about FDMS and we hope you can like our FDMS, and you can also feedback any requirement or request that you think it is needed or helpful FDMS server. Then we will try our best to make them realized in our FDMS system. So thank you for all. Today we will finish. Bye.